2025 is here, and we of course are going to continue creating videos for you. Also, something that never changes is we offer Windows 11 Pro retail keys. For just $12.50, purchase one today and you are good to go for the end of the year when Windows 10 is end of life.
War never changes.
But what if war changed locations? For over 2 decades, Fallout has dropped us into the bombed out ruins of American cities. We had Washington DC, we had Boston, we had Las Vegas, all turned into these charming radioactive wastelands that we've seen in the Fallout games. But what if we left the land of Nuka-Cola, power armor patriots, American stuff, and crossed the ocean? Well, enter Fallout London, a massive fan-made total conversion mod that is probably the biggest mod currently ever created. This isn't just some texture pack with Union Jacks slapping everywhere. This is a full-blown, story-rich, voice-acted, almost studio-level expansion pack made entirely by fans. New setting, new factions, new politics, and not a single Brotherhood of Steel paladin in sight. In this video, we'll dive into the radioactive heart of Fallout London, its origin, its world, its factions, and why some people are calling this the most ambitious mod ever to be created. So grab your English tea because things are about to get nuclear.
But there's no place like London.
Fallout London didn't come from some mega corporation. It wasn't announced at E3 or teased with a flashy CGI trailer, pre-order bonuses like the major companies always do. It started in the place much more powerful, a Discord server. So back in 2019, a group of modders, designers, writers, artists, and just plain Fallout fans came together with one simple question. Why does every Fallout take place in America? What is actually happening in the rest of the world? The answer, it wasn't just lore, it was really something to discuss, debate, let your thoughts loose about. And then the idea of Fallout London decided what to do, what Bethesda actually wouldn't. Take the franchise overseas. They weren't interested in another dusty American wasteland. They wanted foggy ruins like cults, weaponized cricket bats, and so the vision was born. A fully custom Fallout game built in the Fallout 4 engine, set entirely in post-apocalyptic London. No Brotherhood of Steel, no Enclave, no Vault-Tec control freaks, just a crumbling English empire trying to survive without America's safety nets, weapons, or its super mutants.
But there's no place like London.
Forget super duper Mart. In Fallout London, you're looting a bombed out Texaco Express, then the game takes place in the year 2237. That's between Fallout 1 and 2 for all your lore keepers, and it's set in what's left of London, a city once known for royalty, rain, and just what it is today. But now it's even worse. It's a twisted maze of crumbling cathedrals, overgrown tube stations, and war-torn neighborhoods, each with its own unique look and feel. So the developers didn't just reskin Boston with red phone booths like you would expect from a mod. They've rebuilt an entire new map from scratch. Architecture, signage, clothing, culture, everything screams Britain. Just slightly more irradiated, infected, post-nuclear, you name it. So you explore zones like Whitechapel, Camden, Westminster, and even the wreckage of Buckingham Palace. So you want a side quest involving a feral corgi hoarding pre-war crumpets? Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. And there's the Underground, an entire fast travel system and dungeon network based on the real-life London Tube. So that's really, really awesome. This is not just any new map, this is really a rebuild and the feel of the original London, which has been done so amazingly well. Also typically English, the weather is gloomy, rainy, the humor is dry like English style, and the danger still is very, very real. So where Fallout's America, which we have seen in the previous Fallout games, are defined by faded propaganda, capitalist ruins. This new London is all about class division, imperial ghosts, and trying not to get shanked in a pub over a pint of red ale. Pretty much like today modern London, but this time it's even worse. So it's pretty familiar to now, but of course it's a completely fresh way to look at a post-apocalyptic London.
But there's no place like London.
In Fallout London, there's no Brotherhood of Steel trying to hoard tech, no Enclave dreaming of pure America, no Vault-Tec labs pulling creepy social experiments, because this is Britain, remember? Here the post-nuclear power struggle is a bit more eccentric. So let's meet the locals. First you got the gentry. This is an aristocratic elitist who believe the only way to restore order is by reviving the old class system. Think tuxedos, top hats, and terrifying amounts of power. Then there's the Tommy faction, militaristic, nationalistic, and decked out in gear that screams World War nostalgia. They want control, and they've got the rifles, actually I should say the weapons, to take it. But if you prefer your apocalypse with a touch of fantasy, meet the Camelot Order, a group of heavily armed lunatics who believe they are the reincarnation of King Arthur and his knights. Yes, really, so these factions are super funny actually, and also very British. So apparently post-nuclear Britain is ruled by a bunch of people with swords in power armor. And then there are also the fifth columnists, shadowy anarchists who play dirty from behind the scenes, undermining every other faction in a true Fallout fashion. So these aren't just reskinned NCR and raiders, each group has its own politics, history, accents, and they reflect something deeper. Because Fallout London isn't about rebuilding America in this case, of course. This is truly about a broken empire of the British, clinging to tradition, fractured identity, and figure out what comes next when the Queen's Guard is replaced by a guy in a gas mask yelling out about Texas and other British stuff. Who knows, but so yeah, no faults, but still very much madness, but in a very fun, new, fresh British way.
But there's no place like London.
So, what is it like to actually play Fallout London? Short answer, like Fallout 4. But serious answer, of course, this game has a completely new look and feel. Of course, we have the engine of Fallout 4, but this map is completely new and custom. No reused assets from the Commonwealth from Fallout 4, and this isn't like a reskinned Boston. So if you're exploring this wonderful new world, each has their own layouts, its own style, its own architecture, and also there is this actual underground network. And you can use that to fast travel using a mutated version of the actual London Tube. And sometimes you walk right into the combat while doing that. Well, what about the weapons then? We have no more pipe pistols glued together with chewing gum or duct tape. Expect everything from jury-rigged muskets to retrofitted SMGs and even melee builds centered around cricket bats, an example. The AI has been tweaked as well. Now enemies are more tactical, NPCs react more dynamically to your actions, especially when you're caught while stealing something from their English stash. Let's not forget a very strong aspect about this mod as well, voice acting. Because Fallout London features a full original dialogue voiced by a massive cast, many of whom are professional British actors, which is really insane. So this means no more wandering into a new city and being greeted by 12 clones of a generic voice actor from the original Fallout 4. This is really high quality, next level, and it's all into one single mod. This is not paid DLC, this has been made by fans. So this is still Fallout at its core, of course. You have to shoot, loot, survive, repeat, But this time, the post-nuclear wasteland comes with a proper English accent and a much sharper will to survive, maybe without all the American weapons and guns.
But there's no place like London.
Making a mod this huge is of course very difficult. You're making a massive, fully voiced 10 plus hour total conversion in a nearly decade-old engine of Fallout 4. So let's call that a really big challenge, almost insanity, with even more extra steps. So Fallout London's development hasn't exactly been smooth sailing on the Thames. For starters, the Creation Engine, the Creation Engine 1 actually from Fallout 4 and Skyrim Special Edition, isn't exactly famous for being that modder-friendly, even when we have the Creation Kit and it's being a very well-known used tool to create mods, but it can have its issues which we have with the Fallout Creation Engine 1. So it's like trying to build a castle out of wet cardboard and duct tape sometimes, and that can be a little bit of a challenge when creating a huge mod like this. Then, of course, there is scope. We all seen that from Sky Oblivion now. Those guys have been taking 10 years to finish their project. And it's of course no different than this huge mod pack. We're talking about thousands of lines of dialogue, original sound design, custom 3D models, actual AI tweaks, weather systems which needed to be altered, brand new interiors, textures, lore consistency, and this is all being done by unpaid volunteers, spread across the globe, hurting bugs like it's their day job and they're actually getting paid for it, which again, they are not, they are volunteers. And just when things were rolling, Bethesda dropped a surprise next-gen update for Fallout 4. So, pretty fun fact, major engine changes can break entire mods. We also seen that with Skyrim modding. Once a small update has been released, Skyrim script extender doesn't work, EMBs don't work anymore. Same applies for Fallout 4 as well. Skyrim Special Edition, Fallout 4 share the same creation engine. So this Team Fallen, which are the creators of this wonderful mod, had to put out fires, rebuild system, and basically pray to Todd Howard that nothing exploded permanently. And oh, did I mention that a few of their devs actually got job offers in the real game industry because of their work on this mod? Yup, it turns out building a better Fallout experience than Bethesda tends to do get you noticed. So despite everything, the bugs, delays, sleepless night, the team kept pushing forward. Because this isn't just a mod anymore, this is a love letter to Fallout, to storytelling, and to the beautiful, chaotic, tea-soaked mess that this post-apocalyptic Britain is.
But there's no place like London.
For a fan-made mod project like this, Fallout London has created a shockwave bigger than a mini nuke in the phone booth of London. IGN covered it. PC Gamer called it the most ambitious Fallout mod in history. YouTubers with millions of subscribers are reacting to the trailers like it's a new mainline AAA title. And honestly, it kinda feels like one. Like this, a mod pack of this scale, same like Sky Oblivion, is just amazing, and it needs to be recognized and it needs to be appreciated, because that's the least that these wonderful people deserve. So let's talk about release. So Fallout London has now been released, of course, and the dev team behind it has always been very surprisingly transparent, regularly posting progress updates, behind the scenes devlogs, and answering fan questions. So you can now download this for yourself. And except for a mod, maybe Fallout London can also be somewhat seen as a statement, like a statement that says, we as the fans are tired of waiting for a good original DLC pack, so we're going to build it ourselves. So in an industry where the big AAA studios are constantly playing it safe, making profits, so-called spreadsheet managers, and we are now seeing these stupid microtransactions still all the time, this group of volunteers decided to make something bold, fresh, and deeply personal. And I think with these kind of projects, you can actually see the love being poured into it. They didn't just ask, what if Fallout was actually set in London? They did decide to create it themselves. So Fallout London proves that creativity doesn't need $1 billion budget, just passion, vision, and a group of very dedicated volunteers with lots of caffeine, I think so, to create this wonderful project. So this isn't just for vets, loot, extra combat. It is for an amazing, unique story which takes place for the first time in a Fallout universe that is not in the US, and you can finally see somewhat of a unique, fresh look to to the world of Fallout.